Hey class. Did you know where the food that you eat come from and how it's being produced? Did you know that cheap fill products such as corn syrup and ethanol are large ingredients in packaged foods today? Did you know that more than half the money we spend on healthcare goes to treat preventable diseases linked to diet? These are some questions I'm going to talk to you about in my speech about the US food industry and the documentary that should contribute to Open America's Eyes, Food Inc. How should we act when the food that's being produced and offered to us harms the environment and ourselves? The Oscar nominated documentary Food Inc. brings corporate farming out in daylight. Me personally, I've been a vegetarian for 3 years and I feel the benefits of a plant based diet on my own body. Additionally, I've done research in terms of the US food and meat industry, consumption of animal protein linked to cancer, and how to change your diet correctly when converting to vegetarianism. By the end of this speech, you will understand the contradictions between the US food industry and the US healthcare system. I'm going to talk about some of the hidden truths and contradictions within the US food and healthcare industries and how the food we eat makes us sick and harms our surroundings. First, I will introduce you to the documentary Food Inc. Then I will talk to you about the US food industry and lastly about the US healthcare contrary to this documentary. So the first main point of my speech is the documentary Food Inc. Food Inc. is an Oscar nominated documentary produced by Emmy award winning filmmaker Robert Kenner examining corporate farming in the US. The documentary concludes that American agribusiness today produces unhealthy food in a not sustainable way, which is harmful towards the environment, the animals, and the employees of the industry. There are three main segments of the documentary. The first segment is that chicken, beef, and pork is being produced unsustainably, economically, and environmentally. The second segment of the documentary is that grains and vegetables, especially corn and soybeans, are being produced economically and environmentally unsustainable today. The third segment of the documentary is the food labeling system. The food labeling regulations of the major food companies and the heavy use of petroleum based chemicals in contaminated food is used to lower production costs. I'm going to show you a trailer of the documentary to show you what I'm talking about.
The way we eat has changed more in the last 50 years than in the previous 10,000. The modern supermarket has on average 47,000 products.
The industry doesn't want you to know the truth about what you're eating, because if you knew, you might not want to eat it. We've never had food companies this powerful in our history.
Everything we've done in modern agriculture is to grow it faster, fatter, bigger, cheaper.
If you could grow a chicken in 49 days, why would you want one you got to grow in 3 months?
When you go through the supermarket, there is an illusion of diversity. So much of our industrial food turns out to be rearrangements of corn.
Sometimes you look at a vegetable and say, okay, well, we can get 2 hamburgers for the same price.
They have managed to make it against the law to criticize their products.
There is an effort to make it illegal to publish a photo of any industrial food operation.
I find it incredible that the FDA wants to allow the sale of meat from cloned animals without any labeling.
Peanut butter contaminated with salmonella.
E. coli has been found in spinach, apple juice.
Smells like money to me.
The average consumer does not feel very powerful. It's the exact opposite. When we run an item past the supermarket scanner, we're voting for local or not, organic or not.
Look at the tobacco industry. The battle against tobacco is a perfect model of how an industry's irresponsible behavior can be changed.
Imagine what it would be if, as a national policy, The idea would be to have such nutritionally dense food that people actually felt better, had more energy, and weren't sick as much. Now see, that's a noble goal.
People have got to start demanding good, wholesome food of us, and we'll deliver, I promise you.
So that was the trailer. I hope you all take the time to see this documentary. It is very good and gives a very accurate picture of the food industry in the US today. My second main point is in terms of the food industry in the US today. Most packaged foods in major food companies, such as Walmart, contains large amounts of high fructose corn syrup and artificial sweeteners, mainly aspartame, which both are byproducts from ethanol. According to corn.org, cars were intentionally meant to run on ethanol instead of gas, which indicates that it has nothing to do in the human body. Our bodies does not recognize this chemical, which results in the development of several diseases. High fructose corn syrup is used to make production as cheap as possible without decreasing the size of the product. It also contributes to a unnaturally long durability of the food. Try, for example, to leave a Happy Meal from McDonald's out on the counter during the night. Nothing will actually happen to it. It will look like the exact same as you left it the day before. It can actually stay like this for weeks, which actually says something about how much chemicals is actually in these foods. Potential long-term side effects of consuming corn syrup can lead to type 2 diabetes and lipogenesis, more known as fatty liver, according to Food Safety News. Another byproduct from ethanol is aspartame, which is the most used artificial sweetener today. Aspartame was discovered accidentally by a chemist at G.A. Searle. Aspartame is 180 times sweeter than sugar, and the FDA was very skeptical to approve this product as it seems too good to be true. The FDA hired attorneys to actually investigate the findings that Searle did. And they found out that 98 out of 196 animals used in Searle's aspartame experiment died of brain tumors due to the high aspartame intake. The FDA was now even more skeptical to approve the use of aspartame in foods. However, the commissioner who refused to approve aspartame was fired when Ronald Reagan, a friend of Searle, became president. And in 1981, the new commissioner of the FDA, Dr. Arthur Holhays, approved the use of aspartame despite the protest from his board of inquiry. This shows that the intake of aspartame in the US food industry is corrupt. Potential side effects of consuming aspartame is headaches, fibromyalgia, Parkinson's disease, depression, and cancer, just to mention a few. Additionally, the International Agency for Research on Cancer has claimed that formaldehyde produced in the body by aspartame intake can cause cancer. Aspartame is on their list of the most dangerous products, along with plutonium and arsenic. My third main point of this speech is the U.S. healthcare, contrary to the issues of Food Inc. More than half the money we spend on healthcare today goes to treat preventable diseases linked to diet. Heart disease, obesity, and diabetes type 2 are the most common diseases linked to diet. A common misconception is that people think that they can't afford to eat healthy. However, the cost of medical care due to a poor diet is much more expensive than purchasing healthy food in the first place, according to Food Inc. Another claim being made by Food Inc. is that there is no money in healthy people. The drug industry in the US is $1 billion industry, which depends on unhealthy people to make money. This is why it is so hard to turn the system around, as it will cause spillover effects to other industries, such as the drug industry. The treatment of diet-related diseases with chemical drugs are an unsustainable solution for people and the environment. So now that I walked you through my main points, I hope that you see the contradictions between the US food and health industry and that we need to start producing wholesome food sustainably and change the way we eat today. The unsustainable production of food in the US today leads to malnutrition and an unhealthy population, and it's our job as people to start demanding healthy food. And this is the only way for us to try to turn this around. Then the farmers will turn their way of producing food around too. Thank you so much.